This meeting is being recorded.
Okay, there she is. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, I'm Kenya Crooks, the world's greatest weight loss expert. What my Briggs? We got Lee Munn in the building. She's in Memphis, Tennessee. Throw your ring up for him, Lee. That's what I'm talking about. She even knows how to hold it. She even knows how to hold it. Look, here we got my beautiful brick, Liz Rountree. Don't put the D in Rountree. She might smack you and cut you. So I got my girls here today, and today we want to talk about how to learn how to forgive yourself. Now, this is an interesting topic, and I posted earlier on my Facebook and actually on several different platforms. And I asked the question, okay, why is it so hard for you to forgive yourself and forgive everybody else? And one comment kind of stuck out. She said, one of the ladies who follows me, she said, well, I place a higher expectation on myself than I do others. So that's why it's so easy for me to forgive. And I was like, okay, so why do you place so much emphasis on yourself in terms of putting a lot of pressure on yourself, putting just a whole bunch of pressure on yourself, but you don't do the same for other people? So my question to you, ladies, do you struggle with forgiving yourself?
Definitely.
Okay, why?
More so because I hold myself to a higher standard. And so if I mess up, or it's hard for me to forgive myself if I misstep.
Okay. Does it stick with you though? Are you one of those people who, when stuff happens, you get mad at yourself and you kind of hold on to it, or can you let it go after the emotions go down?
It depends on what it is, because some things I pray about it and I let it go. Other things,
Okay.
sometimes I do hold on to them.
And how long do you hold on to it for?
Ooh, a lifetime.
Really?
Yeah, some things I'm still learning how to forgive myself, which basically means let it go. So yeah, and it happened when I was probably 9, 10. So yeah, that's me.
And it's still lingering.
Mm-hmm.
How about you, Lee?
I struggle with forgiving myself because retrospectively, I believe that when I don't succeed at something, I blame myself because I'm looking at all the things that are my fault.
Okay.
Like, you procrastinated. This is why you don't have this, or you shouldn't have failed. You shouldn't have fallen for that. That's your fault. And then I don't forgive myself for it. So it's not so much that I hold myself to a certain standard, it's that when I look back on the reason, trying to figure out the reason why this didn't happen for me,
Okay.
I blame myself. I figure out, most of the time anyway. Sometimes I just, in the moment, if I know I had no control of the situation, I'm out of it. I shake it off, refocus, and then I get back online and, or on track and figure out the next step. Okay, I couldn't get it that way. Let me work on something different. But when I look at it and I figure out that it's me, this is the reason why I didn't get where I needed to get. I didn't get to the next step or the next level. Then I sit in it for a while. It bothers me tremendously.
And how long do you hold on to stuff?
If it's something I can't control, I don't hold on to it. But if it's things that I know I can control, like weight loss, my education, things like that, I hold on to it until I can get it right. So it could be a lifetime, it could be forever. Okay. But and sometimes when I'm first in it, like if it just happened to me, I'm holding on to it. I'm replaying it in my mind. It's guiding every decision I make, because
Okay.
I'm telling myself I want to learn from it, and then maybe I learn, maybe I don't.
Well, let me ask you this. Do you find it easy to forgive people who have wronged you?
Liz?
She throwing it over to you, Liz.
Okay, so
Okay.
I think for me, I give people multiple chances.
Okay.
I give people grace because I know I have been given grace. So
Okay.
if we are in a situation where I'm done,
Okay.
it may take me a long time to forgive you. Usually when I'm done, I'm beyond even being mad or angry. I'm just done. And
Okay.
so I'm trying to learn the balance between being done, forgiveness, and that doesn't mean you have to allow them back into your space.
How long does it take you to be done with somebody?
A long time,
Really?
a long time, because I really believe people deserve grace. People make mistakes, things happen. And that doesn't mean that in the interaction, we don't have conflict, challenges. I don't speak my mind. But usually it takes me a long time to get to the place where I'm done.
How long does it take you in terms of extending grace? Do you sometimes feel like you extend grace too long or have given people too long of a time period to right their wrongs with you?
I do. And then I go back and question myself about, well, maybe you were still too hard. Even though you gave them all this time,
Okay.
maybe still too hard. So it's give and take. It's a hard juggle, not to be too hard and not cut people off completely. It's
Okay.
just a hard balance to find.
Okay. How about you, Lee? Do you find it easy to forgive people who have wronged you?
I do, especially I have a small circle.
Okay.
So if you are already in that circle, I love you unconditionally.
Okay.
And I may not do certain things with you the way we did before. I may not operate in that same space with you,
Okay.
but I forgive you. And I let you have the time you need. I just won't open myself up to be hurt that way. I remember my mom telling me once, never loan anybody money that you can't live without.
Right.
And I believe that about everything. I never give off your energy that you need to get it back
Right.
to people. You give
Right.
your energy, you give your love, you give all that stuff that we give to people because of who we are. We don't want it back,
Right.
but if they give it back, that's awesome, you know? So I still, when people wrong me, I still operate in that space of, I love you.
Okay.
You wrong me, but I love you. And I may not be the person that you go to next time to get what you need,
Okay.
but I still love you.
So you don't cut them off. You kind of like put them in ISS. you put them in the leave money ISS to where you're gonna be over here for a little bit. I might let you out later on, but you're not gonna be in the same high standings, but you're still in my group. Is that about right?
Yeah, that's about right, Coach.
Okay. Why don't you let them go? If they're repeat offenders,
Okay, so in the process, I kind of figure out things about people.
Okay.
They want me to be mad at them. They want me to give, like, perfect example, when somebody's trying to move out of your life,
Okay.
a relationship that they want to end. They do a lot of negative things. And, before you were calling them, let's go walk in the park, let's do this together, let's go out to eat. They won't get that call from me this time.
Okay.
So I won't give them the negativity they keep trying to get from me, kind of thing.
Okay.
And that's why I keep them around. Eventually, some people fall off. Some people fall off by their own accord because they be embarrassed, I believe. I believe some people just feel like, oof, I called her after I did that, I can't do it.
Yeah. Well, that's a blessing in a sense because you have a lot of people who take you for granted, especially family members who expect you to just shake it off. Like, oh, that's my cousin, or that's my daughter, or she'll be all right, or that's Chuck. That's Chuck. God, she'll be mad. Yeah, for those who don't know, Chuck is Liz. That's what her family called. But for those who didn't know, that's her family nickname. Let me ask you this. Have you ever caught yourself going hard for people who you really shouldn't have been going hard for? Either family members or a relationship. Have you ever overextended yourself to where you're like, damn, I can't believe I did that? Go ahead, Liz.
Yes. I've come to realize I am a giver, and so that's how I express my love. So
Okay.
yes, in most of my important relationships, I have overextended myself. And that's
Okay.
probably why I am at a standstill now, not making new connections, because I don't know how to do that. I
Okay.
give way more than I receive. And so I end up being empty. So yes, I give
Do
way
you feel
too.
like you give away too much too soon?
Too soon, too long. Yes.
Okay. So let me ask you this. How long would you say from the time of somebody meeting you, would you say, based upon past relationships, that you were kind of all in, months wise? How many months did it take you to be all in with a person?
Probably. So it takes me a while to make those kind of connections. So I would say 6 months.
Okay.
But once I determine I'm in, I'm in.
You in.
So 6 months is like really day one, because it took me 6 months to determine, okay, I'm going to allow this person in. So once I make that determination, they're in. So 6 months, average.
Okay. How about you, Lee?
I used to be, I don't know, I told you this before. I didn't date in any kind of dating for 12 years.
Okay.
And
Why?
I couldn't let anybody in.
Really?
I could not let anybody in my space, give them my time. I was really trying to focus on my kids. And I was really upset that I was a single parent. I never ever believed that I would be raising kids on my own.
Okay.
And I never let a man in my home
Okay.
the whole time my kids were growing up. So it was really, I did not want to be hurt that way again. I did not want my kids to see me being hurt. I didn't want to have to explain to them why a new man is here. I didn't want to have those conversations. So I think when I came out of that and started dating again, my youngest was about to go to college.
Okay.
And I realized that I wanted something more. So I stopped not letting people in. I just opened the door and I said, I'm gonna give you so much rope.
Okay. Did that one relationship that messed you up so badly, did it make you question everything, including yourself?
Absolutely.
12 years
Absolutely.
is a long time to just shut that thing off.
I shut it down.
Did you think that he would be the one? And after he disappointed you, you just was done?
I
Because
did.
again, yeah, that's a
I
long
did.
time.
I thought he was my friend. Beyond being a lover, beyond being the father of my children, I thought he was my friend, my best friend. And that was all garbage, you know? So how do you allow somebody else to come in and say they're your best friend?
And
No,
so you probably started doubting yourself, and you probably, because anytime somebody says it's been 12 years, that's like a punch in the head and a body blow and a kidney shot and an uppercut and a haymaker. It's like you just taking all of those blows. Did you feel like you have had to do a lot of self work during that time that you were on hiatus?
I did, but I'm gonna tell you that during the 12 years, I was so blind. It was just at some point, I don't know when, but at some point I stopped wanting to be in a relationship. I thought it was never going to be for me ever again. Men would try to talk to me, and I would, I don't know if I was looking at them the wrong way or giving them a glare or something, but they would consistently, I'll say, why you frowned up like that? I didn't know. I did not know that I was looking the way I was looking. I just thought that, I don't know, but I know at a certain point, I stopped feeling like a woman. I just
Yeah,
felt like
explain
a
that.
human.
Explain that. That's good.
I felt like a human. I didn't feel feminine.
Hmm.
I didn't feel masculine. I was
Hmm.
doing everything I was doing was male and female things. I was running my household. I was working. I was traditionally, what society tells us the roles of men and women are. I was doing all of that.
You everybody.
Yes, I'm everybody.
Did
So
that not get tiring?
that's what happened when I realized I was waking up every day feeling like I wasn't a woman, and I know I gotta be a woman,
Ah,
and I wasn't though. By definition, I couldn't have been.
right.
And I said, I don't want to feel like this anymore. I want to do something different.
So you felt out of order in a sense because that's that knowing the both of y'all as I know you. One thing I noticed about both of y'all get extremely tired when you're out of order or when you feel like you're doing too much. Because again, I'll use Liz as an example. Liz is an awesome daughter. But she carries the water for everybody. So she's like an awesome mom, awesome sister, great daughter. But knowing Liz the way I know Liz, she has a tendency to neglect herself. So whenever she neglects herself, then the bottom falls out. So Liz, you've been doing a lot of work on yourself. How has that helped you in terms of being able to come to grips not only with the past but where you are currently?
Uh, Initially, it kind of left an empty space because you fill up space with helping everybody, carrying the water for everybody. So when you put that down and start trying to focus on yourself, you kind of left with this space. Okay, well, what do I do now? If I'm not helping everybody else, what do I do with all this extra time, extra mental space? So currently I'm learning a balance, but I think I'm in that phase of the 12-year drought.
Okay.
So my daughter is grown, it's just me. I still have to take care of myself and my household, but
Okay.
I don't date, don't really want to date, not really interested. We talked about this. So I'm trying to find.
Well, let me ask you this, and let me ask both of you this. Okay. Single moms, successful single moms. Okay. Do you think, in all transparency, that you use that as a cover so you wouldn't have to deal with your own personal stuff? Kind of like to say, well, if I just bury myself, not only in my work but in my child or children, then that can be my out, so I don't have to face myself. Did you go through that?
I would say for me, no.
Okay.
Not that was not one of my issues being a single mom, because I always had someone in my life that said, you're having this child, that does not mean your life ends. So
Right.
even though I may not have dated as much or done as much, I probably wouldn't have if I didn't have the child. That's just my personality. So I would say no to that.
Okay. How about you, Lee?
I would say while going through it, I didn't see it. But afterwards, in retrospect, I saw it. because my kids told me, you know, that they wanted to see me in a healthy relationship. They only saw me in a relationship with their father, and they wanted to know why. And I said, I thought I was, you know, keeping this place, this home, you know, your place of peace.
Okay.
But I really wasn't. I was using them as a crutch. I told my daughter this morning because we were talking about something similar to this, and I said, I think I used it as a crutch. Because it was easy to say, I'm just focused on my kids right now. I don't want anybody in my house right now, than to say I was failing at becoming or being in a relationship. You know? So,
Right.
yeah, I see that I did use it as a crutch. Now I do. But while I was in it, I was tunnel vision. I did not see it. And I hate that because I would have wanted them, like they craved to see me in a healthy relationship. And I didn't even know.
They just wanted you to be happy.
Mhm.
Right.
So in terms of forgiveness, and y'all struggling with forgiveness in a sense, who taught y'all, would you say, to be hard on yourself? Is it something that you saw with other people that were close to you in terms of how they handled stuff?
Do we have these conversations when we're growing up though? Do your parents say, you know, if you mess up, you should forgive yourself? No.
No.
We are taught to do the right thing. If you don't do the right thing, it's going to be consequences. I don't remember there ever being a conversation of, if you mess up, there's space and grace in there for forgiveness. I learned that as an adult on my own. Nobody ever talked. Even now, I still don't. If there's a conflict in the family, we are told, oh, you just let that go.
Right.
If somebody does you wrong, you just let that go. There's
And
still
how did that make you feel? How did that make you feel?
that it's okay for people to treat you badly. That it's okay. And nobody has to say, I'm sorry. And so where is the forgiveness? Real basic.
Because we as Black folks, we don't apologize to each other.
We do not apologize. And so if there's no apology, where's the lesson in forgiveness? We are told to just get over it.
To just get over it.
Just get over it. That was
I'm sorry. I don't think anybody ever told me just get over it. I learned a lot of stuff just by observing.
Mm-hmm.
And I observed a lot of forgiveness. I observed a lot of wounding.
Okay.
And then being forgiven anyway, constantly. Uncles, cousins, aunties, grandmothers, they would always forgive, but nobody ever said thank you. You just observe these people walking in and out of your life over and over again, or people not living up to the expectation of whatever their role is.
Okay.
And then people around you just acting like nothing happened.
So for you, was it uncommon to hear somebody say, I'm sorry, I apologize, please forgive me? Was that uncommon?
Yes, it was. It was.
So going back to what Liz was saying, if people don't apologize or say I'm sorry, technically you're not even acknowledging that you've done somebody wrong. So you don't give people the opportunity to say, you know what? It's all good. It's water upon the bridge, we'll move forward.
Right.
Because what we do is, you don't say nothing, I don't say nothing. When we see each other, we ain't gonna say nothing. We'll just talk up under our breath. It'd be real short. Yeah. How you doing? I'm fine. How do we turn that thing around to where that's not the norm in terms of just acting like nothing happened and just being okay with forgiveness and asking for it?
It's extremely difficult. And I say that because I'm going through several situations where that's kind of like the theme. So what I've started doing, because I don't get it, if I mess up and I catch myself, even if it's days later, I'm really working on saying, you know what, I'm going to hold myself accountable for what I said and did, and I apologize. I've been in a situation like that, and the person just did not open their mouth. It was like, what are you talking about? So it's difficult, but trying to be an example for my daughter, for my nieces and nephews. Like, it's okay to be in arguments, to have challenges, but at some point somebody has to say, I'm sorry. So that that person can forgive you, because forgiveness is not for them. It's for you. And so we have all these generations that have never said, I'm sorry. They've never forgiven each other. They just keep going. And so you build that into the foundation of families. Nobody forgives, and then they don't forgive themselves. If they do something wrong, it's like, oh my God, all their life. And it causes a lot of hurt, deep hurt. Yeah.
So
I agree with all that.
So I guess my last question is this: for those who are hard on themselves and they penalize themselves harshly, what advice would you give to somebody who's really, really working on extending grace to themselves? What advice would you give?
Me?
Sure.
Find a space. If you're religious, find a space, a quiet time, and just as you pray to God and He forgives, if He can forgive anything, you have room and space to forgive yourself. It's not easy, but you have to be very intentional. I forgive myself for this. Like, make that statement. And then when you're working to that you can let it go. If somebody brings that issue up, if it comes up, you don't have that emotion attached to it, because you know you are forgiven.
Right.
Through your, you know, if that makes sense, that you can, people can try to still use that against you.
Right.
You know, and you can be like, that doesn't bother me because I'm forgiven for that.
Right.
So that's your issue now. That's not mine, because I've let it go. So just being very intentional about making that statement. You have to say it. Look, I forgive myself for this, and work through that. So that would be
that was good. How about you, Lee? What advice would you give?
I would say that accept that you're feeling bad. Accept that you're not feeling good about what happened. If you failed at something, whatever the case may be, accept your fault in it. So you can grieve in that moment. So if you ignore it, it's just gonna get worse. Because a lot of people get paralyzed and they can't do anything. They can't function in any way in their life. But if you go ahead and you accept it, I'm in pain right now, and acknowledge that, then you can let it go. Don't ignore it, acknowledge it, find a way to resolve it within yourself, but don't live in that moment too long. Don't live in that moment too long, because then you really gonna hurt yourself.
So the two things that I'm getting from the both of you is accountability and honesty. Hold yourself accountable, but also be honest that, yeah, this did hurt me. Yeah, this did bother. What you said, you know, in the family group text. Just because I always tell folks all the time, just because you put a smiley face behind it don't mean that it hurt any less just because you put a little smiley face behind what you said.
right.
that type deal. So this was awesome, ladies. And again, thank y'all for hanging out with me. Look, for those who are watching this, we're gonna do this at least once a month or once every 2 weeks. I gotta check their schedules, because this broadcast will end up helping a lot of people who struggle with forgiveness. So thank y'all so much for hanging with me.
Thank you for
You're
including
welcome.
me.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah, this was fun. And to the people that's gonna watch this later on, thank y'all for hanging. For the people that's gonna watch this on the replay, thank you. Make sure y'all like, make sure you share, make sure you subscribe to this awesome channel, because we gonna bless your life. My whole thing is making sure we bless you from your mind to your behind. So y'all be good. Thank y'all for hanging. Y'all have a great one.
Bye, y'all.
Bye.